Alright, week 12 NFL. Got a lot of big games this week. A lot of games that are going to move the needle with regards to playoff position. Get a nice one to start off the week. Colts at Houston. Thursday night game. This game basically going to decide the AFC South. I know Tennessee's only a game back of these two at 5-5, but I don't see them hanging around the rest of the way. So this is, I mean, really, the Colts can really, I mean, you don't want to say wrap it up, but if they win the game, they're going to have the tiebreaker on Houston. It'll be a game up with 5 to play. I mean, obviously a lot can still happen there, and the Colts are dealing with some injuries, but they've battled through a lot all year. But that being said, I think Houston's going to win this game. They got to bounce back from that disgusting game against Baltimore. Really didn't show up for that game. I didn't watch a lot of it because I didn't have a lot of fantasy interest, and again, there was probably a zillion other games on at the time. So I'm not sure what went wrong in that game, but Houston just didn't look good. But I think they'll get the bounce back here and get the win. But those two are going to battle obviously for the division title, albeit it'll be a 3 or 4 seed now because Baltimore and New England will be the top 2 seeds. But I'll take Houston in that game. That's a good game to start off the week. Let's go to Sunday, 12 o'clock. The early games, 12 o'clock Central Time. You get Tampa Bay and Atlanta. Atlanta surprised the hell out of people. Last 2 weeks, beating up on the Saints and the Panthers. It's just got to be so frustrating being an Atlanta fan. It's just like, why don't you play like this all year? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, why? Like, it doesn't even mean anything now. I mean, they're out of it. I mean, whatever they are, they're 3-7. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, guess what? Now you play like this. Now you come out and dominate your division opponents. I mean, it's just, I don't know how you live with yourself if you're an Atlanta fan. This game, some fantasy points obviously will be on the line here, but is Atlanta going to win 3 in a row after going 1-7? But then you're betting on Jameis Winston. Oh, jeez, I'll take Atlanta here, but who cares? It don't mean anything. Denver's at Buffalo. Denver, up 20-0 in Minnesota last week, and then they slowly blow it. The Bills, taking care of business in Miami. They're, on track to get a wild card. I'll take them to win this game, but again, Denver's going to be live all year. Even though their record's not good and they have no shot because they got some skill players on offense that can, put up some points. But we'll go with the Bills here. Bills keep chugging along. Try to get that playoff push. Giants at Chicago. The Bears, tough loss against the Rams. Basically knocks them out of the playoff race. Giants haven't been in a playoff race since 2016, whatever the hell it was the last time they made the playoffs. Need a big game from Tariq Cohen and David Montgomery. I have them in my leagues. Because you can't trust any of the Chicago skill position players. I'll take the Bears in this one, but I'm not 100% confident because you never know with the Giants against these subpar teams. But we'll take the Bears there. Pittsburgh's at Cincinnati. Pittsburgh's had some time to reflect since the quarterback got hit in the head with his own helmet by Myles Garrett. The Bengals are 0 whatever. Steamrolling toward 0-16. They'll probably put up a fight this week because it's the Steelers. But, Steelers never lose to the Bengals when the teams are good, so they're certainly not going to lose them now. So I'll take Pittsburgh. You got Miami at Cleveland. Wait, I thought there were good games this week. What the What these games are all trash. All right, looks like we got some better ones coming up. Miami at Cleveland. Cleveland will probably win a game. Miami will make it interesting, but the Browns. Everything's got to go right for the Browns the rest of the way to make the playoffs. It's not. They'll find a way to screw it up. Team is not focused on the things that are important. Just a lot of clowning around with them. But they'll somehow squeak by Miami this week. But I wouldn't be surprised if Miami somehow won this game. But I'll take Cleveland. All right, Carolina at New Orleans. There you go. This is Carolina's last-ditch effort, really. Get themselves back in the race. I don't know that they can win the South. I mean, if they win this game, they'll be 2 back of the Saints. And did they play already, or do they have another game left, these two? They played the last week of the season. So, yeah, Carolina can keep it live here. But, they've had 2 bad losses a couple weeks. Get blown out by the 49ers. Then you get blown out by the Falcons. It's one thing you lose to the Falcons, but you get destroyed by the Falcons. By the way, how the hell does Christian McCaffrey put up 30 fantasy points when his team scores 3 points? How does he do it? He's the best player in football, and if he's on your fantasy team and you're not on track to win the championship, there's something wrong with you. You need to give up because he is just a phenomenal player. I mean, think about that for a second. I know it's different statistical categories we're talking about here, but the Carolina Panthers scored 3 points. They scored 3 points. I mean, obviously they didn't score a touchdown. So that means obviously Christian McCaffrey didn't score a touchdown. But somehow the guy put up 30 fantasy points in PPR. I mean, that is bananas. I mean, it really is. I mean, I don't know that there's been that much of a disparity between one guy scoring that many fantasy points with his team scoring so few points. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, how good he is. I have him in one of my leagues. I'm steamrolling in that one, and it's just so relaxing because the Panthers will do nothing and he still puts up 25, 30 points. It's crazy. But in any event, let's see. Let's go back to this game here. Carolina's at New Orleans. New Orleans needs to bounce back. They bounced back last week, but they still got that bad taste of Atlanta game in their mouth from 2 weeks ago. I'll take the Saints to win this game. Carolina's going to make it feisty, but I just don't think Carolina's got enough to make the playoffs. Because outside of McCaffrey, they really don't. I mean, Allen's been okay at quarterback. They got a couple of okay receivers, but without McCaffrey, this team goes nowhere. But at the Saints, will take care of business. I'll take New Orleans. Oakland's at the Jets. Man, I'm telling you, look out for the Raiders. Almost got a huge break with the Chargers almost pulling out against the Chiefs on Monday night. But, I mean, if they could have got that, it would have been big for the Raiders. But even still, Raiders are a half game out. They get the Chiefs next week. So if they take care of business here, they're 7-4 going into Kansas City next week. And I'll tell you what, the Raiders are going to be live. Ain't no joke now. Kansas City is struggling. And the Raiders are they're playing well. I mean, there's no way around it. And again, don't discount these last games in Oakland. It's going to be very tough for teams to win there. Now, again, they got to go to Kansas City. And I don't know who else they have left at home, but they don't have a big tough schedule other than the Chiefs game. So if they take care of their business and they beat Kansas City in 2 weeks, Raiders are going to win the division. They'll take care of the Jets this week, though. So that's all you really need to know there. All right, here we go. Seattle at Philadelphia. Big game, obviously. Seattle Seattle the best team in the NFC right now? I mean, I don't know. All I know is that Russell Wilson, he might be the best quarterback in the game. I know Mahomes. I know Brady. But Seattle is never out of it because of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson does things late in games, and in games in general, that keep his team in contention. I mean, listen, Seattle's a good team, but he just did. Look, let me just say this. Normally, I have Russell Wilson in fantasy, and it's just you have so much confidence when he gets in these games, and they're going back and forth, and he's going down and getting a score. And you don't really even care who he's throwing to because you have Russell Wilson. But on the flip side, when you're on the reverse end, like I had in one of my leagues, I had like a 25-point lead going into the Seahawk-Niner game a couple weeks ago, and you know, I was keeping my fingers crossed. But man, you do not want to be on the other end of Russell Wilson in fantasy, even when you have what seems like a safe lead. And I ended up losing that week in that league because of great Russell Wilson is. Gotta go and beat Philly. If Philly's struggling on offense, you know, guys are hurt. You know, too bad, whatever. I'm gonna take the Seahawks in this game, obviously, but I really think Seattle can win the game. I'm not just trying to be a Cowboys homer here, but I'll take the Seahawks in Philly. Then you get Detroit at Washington. I mean, the Redskins. I mean, there's nothing to say about them. They're a hot mess. They're hot garbage. The Lions, tough break with Stafford going out. They put up a fight against Dallas. Put up a fight with Chicago 2 weeks ago. They'll win this game. It'll be a struggle box, but you know, the Redskins just got nothing, and you know they're driving for that #1 pick. Even though they're going to end up at 2 because of the Bengals because they won a game, the Redskins. But this is a garbage game. Take the Lions. Who cares? All right, Sunday late afternoon. There's only 2 games on the schedule. We'll get to the one no one's going to watch first. Jacksonville's at Tennessee. Tennessee's got to win this game to stay in the hunt. Jacksonville, they just don't have it. I'll take the Titans, but who even cares? Because even the people in Jacksonville, Tennessee, are not going to be watching this game. The game they're going to be watching is the other game late Sunday. We're on with America, the world, the galaxy. Cowboys at the Patriots. The marquee franchises in sports. Really the last 2 great dynasties in the last 30 years. Obviously, New England's been the last 20. Before that, it was the Cowboys. These teams have combined to win 9 of the last 27 Super Bowls, and which is 1 out of 3 for you math people out there. And listen, it's been a long time for Dallas, obviously, but you know, since 1991, the Cowboys have still won more Super Bowls than anyone else other than the Patriots. So just something to think about there. Even though it's been a while for the Cowboys, other than this New England dynasty, Jerry still got more than everyone else other than Bob Kraft in that time frame. So and listen, obviously I'm a Cowboys fan. I'm taking the Cowboys. New England's 9-1, but New England hasn't done a whole lot on offense this year, and not only that, they haven't really played a really good offensive team other than Baltimore. I mean, I'm gonna look at New England's schedule here real quick. I mean, you know, they played Pittsburgh with no Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger got hurt. I forget what happened. You know, they played Miami, the Jets, and the Bills. They beat the Jets twice. They played the Giants, the Redskins, the Browns. They played the Eagles last week with dudes hurt. I mean, they have not played a quality offense. And listen, the Cowboys have the weapons. The only thing you worry about with the Cowboys is, you know, is the coaching staff going to have this team ready? You know, is Jason Garrett going to, you know, just not understand what he has and try to force things that aren't going to work? And what I'm talking about is, you know, Dak Prescott is playing at a great level. And listen, last week against Detroit, you know, Amari Cooper didn't do a whole lot in that game. You know, he's obviously the #1 receiver. So you had Cooper not doing much. You had Zeke, you know, having a ho-hum game, and yet Dak still threw for 444 yards because he's got Randall Cobb steps up, like Gallup is stepping up, you know, Witten is Witten. I mean, there's a lot of weapons on offense. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. If the Cowboys come out from the beginning of the game, no horse shit, and they play their game, and the Garrett puts his trust and understands that this is now Dak's team, Dallas could put up a nice score on New England this week. It is possible. I know it sounds ridiculous. The Patriots are 9-1, but there is a chance that the Cowboys could really turn it on this week, and this game could get away from New England. I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous what I just said. The Patriots have been the greatest fantasy defense of all time, but again, they have not played a high-powered offense other than Baltimore, and you saw, and not even that Baltimore's a high-powered offense, is they have such a unique running style, and they have so many weapons to run the ball. New England just didn't know how to handle it. Cowboys are coming in here with a hot quarterback, big time, big play receivers, and as much as Zeke has been kind of out of it this year, I mean, he's still Zeke. So I'm just saying, if this ends up like a 34-17 game in favor of Dallas, don't be surprised. Is all I'm saying. I'm gonna take the Cowboys to win, and I think the game last week in Detroit, I think maybe Garrett and the coaching staff finally figured out that, you know what, we're a passing team. We're a passing team now, and I think the key was the end of the game when they're trying to run out the clock, instead of just banging Zeke into the line 3 times. They actually had Dak roll out on 2nd down, hit Blake Jarwin for a 1st down that basically iced the game. So maybe they might go into this game saying to themselves, you know what, this is Dak's team. We have a high-powered passing offense. Let's go out, fling the ball around. Be interesting to see, because Seattle beats Philly at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock Central. I'm originally from the East Coast, so I still think in East Coast time. But if Seattle beats Philly in the early game, I think you're going to see Dallas, just let loose, because they're already up a game. If Seattle beats Philly, Philly goes back 2 in the loss column, and now you basically got a free game here at New England. Because if you lose it, whatever, you're still a game up Philly. You want to at least stay a game on Philly going into the Week 16 game, because if you lose, then I think Dallas can still win a tiebreaker. But if Philly can lose in the early game, I think you're going to see the Cowboys just rip it, because they're going to be playing with house money at that point. I'm going to take the Cowboys to win this game. I'm more confident than I should be as a fan of a team playing New England, but I think the Cowboys are going to win this game. I think it's Sunday night, another beautiful game. Green Bay is at San Francisco. 49ers Cardinals game last week was a battle, except for the 8 garbage points the 49ers defense got in fantasy, which didn't help me in one league, but whatever. Packers are coming off the bye. Coming off that bad loss against San Diego. The Chargers. Let's just keep calling them San Diego. Who cares? People in LA don't root for the Chargers. I'm still just calling them San Diego Chargers. Anyway, I think Green Bay is going to win this game, because I don't like how the Niners, kind of let the Seattle game slip away from them. And I know Arizona's feisty and tough, but I don't like that they had to pull that one out at the end. Green Bay's coming off the bye. Their defense is stout. Aaron Rodgers will put it together. I'll take Green Bay Sunday night. And then Monday night, Baltimore at the LA Rams. Is Baltimore the best team now? Are they the best team in football? I mean, they got to beat New England in the playoffs, but I mean, Baltimore seems like they might be unstoppable. I mean, nobody's unstoppable, but I mean, really, just the one game you can't figure out is how they lost to Cleveland earlier in the year. But other than that, it's just the teams don't know what to do with them. And the Rams are not going to figure it out. I'm going to take Baltimore to win this game, but again, they're the one hope. For everyone that doesn't want to see New England back in the Super Bowl, Baltimore's your one hope. Now again, they wouldn't get New England until the AFC Championship game, so it is what it is. But the Ravens are they're ridiculous right now. I mean, nobody wants to see them. And that includes New England. New England's like, I don't know what to do with this team. But I take Baltimore to beat the Rams this week. And there you go. That'll be the cap off a nice week of football as we head into Thanksgiving week next week. This is when it starts to get real good. Games mean a lot. People throwing up fantasy points left and right. So this should be a fun weekend of football. But we'll see you for that Cowboy New England game. That's the game of the week, no doubt. And then there you go. Week 12 NFL.